Very good morning to one and all. Good morning, very good morning. You are not sleeping, isn't it? So this is not our routine embryology lecture. So if I take any class, students used to think it is embryology. Okay, so definitely it is not an embryology class. Okay, somewhat different. So I take this opportunity to thank the professor and head of physiology and the team for giving me this opportunity. So now only I learned this. Otherwise, we used to tell you what are the parts of the brain, what are the function. Okay, so now only I learned about memory. It is just like that it is happening. We are learning, it is getting registered, we are recollecting, but we are not going into the depth of, isn't it? So Sir has given me the chance to read my own Samson Wright physiology. Are you familiar with that? No. So recently I got that book from our library. I referred that. So that is my favorite book while doing my PG, sorry, your UG at Sundarapandian Medical College. Okay, so I am not going to tell in detail. So in line with your attention span, I modified everything. So of course, next stalwarts of physiology are there to deal about that subject in detail. So I will tell what are all the parts, what are the function with a few live examples. Okay. So today mobile is allowed. So I try to make it alive. So you can, we will be having in between fun learning. Okay. So you can use your mobile. So finally we have some quiz. So one surprise is there. Okay. So don't sleep. Okay.
ஞாபகம் வருதே ஞாபகம் வருதே
Are you getting it?
ஞாபகம் வருதே ஞாபகம்.
So what is it? So recalling, isn't it? Something you are recalling. So I hope all you will be familiar with that song, isn't it? So how that memory is getting consolidated, so that we are going to learn now. So now you can. So the competency number, hope it is 10.9, PY 10.9. Okay, so that is the memory. So learning objectives. First, we are going to understand the functional anatomy of your cognition, learning, and memory. So next one, your PAP circuit. That's what Sir to insisted me to concentrate on PAP circuit. Okay, already you have studied about it. What way it is important? What way it is important for the emotional integration of memory? For that, our PAP circuit and the limbic lobe is important. So next, correlating these things with clinical aspects. So finally, it may be useful for you. So how to improve your knowledge or memory power, so to improve your academic performance. So first, introduction to cognition and memory. So what is cognition? So mental process involved in gaining knowledge. What are all the mental processes involved in gaining knowledge? Is first your attention. All of you attentive, isn't it? Next, how much you are perceiving. Once it is perceived, so it goes to your hippocampus. So where encoding takes place, restoration takes place, recalling takes place. Of course, finally you are going to problem solving, isn't it? These are all the your cognition process involved in learning. So next, what is learning means? Acquisition of new knowledge and skill. Have you acquired any skill so far? So already 9 months over in first year. What are all the clinical skills you learned? Feeling radial pulse? So all of you clear. So that is basic thing you have to learn, isn't it? Measuring your blood pressure. So that and all these skill, isn't it? So next, memory. Of course, it is encoding of the memory, storing, retrieving the information. So briefly, I will tell what are all the parts of the brain involved in that. So of course, already we studied about the types of memory. So short-term memory, long-term memory, then your episodic memory. your autobiographical memory. Next, semantic memory. So that is your factual memory. So major structures involved in the cognitive neuroanatomy. So prefrontal cortex, next your amygdala, parahippocampal gyrus, cingulate gyrus, and your hippocampus. So of course, the last four are included in the limbic lobe also. Okay. So prefrontal cortex. So in anatomy, of course, only your brainstem part is going on. Later on, you are going to see the cerebral hemisphere. So what is pointed here is the prefrontal cortex. Okay. So what is the function of this prefrontal cortex? You are planning, decision making, executing the function. So how you are planning to attend the classes? So today is embryology. Okay. So only sir is going to ask only 5 marks question. Okay. So that is planning. Then planning to sleep in the class. So that is execution, isn't it? That's what you are using your prefrontal cortex. Okay. So next hippocampus. So you have to see where it is. So I will show the picture. So this is the medial aspect of your sagittal section of your brain, where of course this is your frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. So this is the temporal lobe. Deeper in that temporal lobe, in relation to your floor of the lateral ventricle, you will be having your hippocampus. Actually, this is the hippocampus. Okay, so that only play a major role in the your memory, receiving the memory, storing it for consolidation and all. Your hippocampus plays the major role. So encoding. So what is encoding? Any idea? So whatever things you are getting by your sensory impulses. So you are seeing something, learning. You are hearing something and learning. You are feeling something and learning. All these sensory inputs goes to your corresponding cerebral cortex. From there, they are transferring to your hippocampus, where all these impulses are getting converted into neuronal signal. Then only it can be stored in the brain. So that process is called as encoding. Next, on repetition, that memory is getting consolidated. So consolidation of memory. So we will see the live examples. Next, amygdala. So that is very important for the emotional role. So actually already I told this is hippocampus. So at the tip of the hippocampus, you can make out that small mass. So of course, macroscopically it is difficult to see. That is your amygdala. So that is important in the emotional tagging. So here only that emotion comes. So emotionally, if you learn anything, so that song I played, isn't it? So that is full of emotional memory. Have you heard that song? It is Tamil, of course it is Tamil. So emotion, all that song is, I like that song very much. So it is full of emotional memory. How that emotion is tagging with the memory. So that's why it is important. If you are highly interested, if you read what is the clinical application of each, okay, your emotion comes there. Definitely it will be stored in your mind. So next, cingulate gyrus. So here, of course, this is your, what is this? Any idea? What is this part? No idea. Corpus callosum, that is corpus callosum. Just above that corpus callosum, what you see is the cingulate gyrus. Okay, so that is cingulate gyrus. Of course, in anatomy, you are going to see all these things. Okay, so here, what is the function of that cingulate gyrus? So your attention. Okay, error detection. What is that error detection? MCQ you are answering. First you are putting A. After some time you are thinking that no, it is wrong. You are going for D, isn't it? So that is error detection. Okay. So next, motivation. Parahippocampal gyrus. Actually, this is the parahippocampal gyrus. Don't worry, we will demonstrate all these things when your cerebral hemisphere part comes to the anatomy. So this is important for spatial and contextual memory. What is that spatial memory? Can you think about your spleen now? Where it is? Where your spleen is there? You can imagine, isn't it? Can you bring it here? Can you bring that spleen in front of you now? In the physical space? Any organ, whatever you like. Not only spleen, heart, lung. Okay. So related applied anatomy, you can imagine. Imagine your lung, pleura, pleural effusion, tapping. Pleural tapping. Are you able to bring it in front of you? So that is your spatial and contextual memory. Spatial means in the physical space, you are bringing your knowledge. Okay. So then you are visualizing it or applying the clinical importance. So that is contextual memory. So that is your prefrontal cortex. Next, your limbic lobe and functional anatomy of limbic lobe. So these are all the structures already enumerated coming under the limbic lobe also. Okay. So very nice diagram, simple diagram. So if you take your gyrus here, parahippocampal gyrus. Okay. So next, cingulate gyrus coming under the your limbic lobe. So functional anatomy of limbic lobe. So emotion. So here emotion comes. So your behavior, retention of short-term memory. Note that retention, it is not the center for long-term memory. For long-term, it is cerebral cortex only. Okay, neocortex. But this is called as allocortex, old cortex. So there only retention of short-term memory takes place. Of course, in lower animals, olfaction is more important. So in human, olfaction is not much important. Now that important part comes, PAP circuit. Okay. So hippocampal formation. So already I told only hippocampus, isn't it? So hippocampal formation means, in the next slide I will show what is it. So this hippocampal formation is connected to mammillary body through fornix. So you have to trace the hippocampus, alveus, fimbria, fornix. So that fornix will end in your mammillary body. Okay, so that we will demonstrate all those things. Don't worry. So mammillary body is connected to anterior nucleus of thalamus through mammillothalamic tract. Okay. So next, your anterior nucleus of thalamus is connected to cingulate gyrus through anterior thalamic radiation. Carefully go through it for final quiz. So next, cingulate gyrus is connected to parahippocampal gyrus through cingulum. So once again, finally it goes to hippocampus. So that's what your memory consolidation takes place through the PAP circuit. So that is perforant and alveolar pathway. Okay. So this is the PAP circuit. So now modified version of PAP circuit is there. In that, amygdala also included. As the emotion comes in memory, your amygdala also included in the revised version of PAP circuit. So here, already I told this is hippocampus. What is hippocampal formation means? From the hippocampus, if you trace, you will be having gyrus fasciolaris. Then if you see the corpus callosum, above that you have a mass of gray matter. So that is called as indusium griseum. Indusium griseum. Combined together, it is called as hippocampal formation. Hippocampal formation. Okay. So now functional role of the PAP circuit. So it mediates consolidation of declarative memory. What is consolidation? So if you repeatedly see these things, Okay, it is getting consolidated in the hippocampus. Later on, it is transferred to neocortex. So that we will see with simple example. Okay. So links emotional tone with memory. So there only that emotion comes. That's why PAP circuit is important. Okay, emotional tone. So clinical relevance commonly Wernicke's, your Korsakoff syndrome. So we have got about it. Okay, it is due to what? Which vitamin deficiency? So forgot, isn't it? Why you are not getting? You have not studied repeatedly. So that's why repetition is important. Okay. So leading to anterograde amnesia. So we will see one live example. Go through it. Sciatic nerve. It is more important, isn't it? So how you are learning about the sciatic nerve? How? First you are seeing, isn't it? You are seeing that sciatic nerve. Teacher tells about the sciatic nerve, how it is important. So it is the sciatic nerve is what? Why it is unique? Sciatic nerve. What way it is unique? Peculiar feature. Thickest nerve present in the body. Thickest nerve present in the body. Teacher says. So it is important for spotters. Clinically it is important. So that's what you are hearing something about it. Next you are touching. Am I correct? So that's what you are gaining knowledge. First you are seeing. So that will go to the which part of cerebral cortex? You are seeing where it is perceived. Occipital lobe. Am I correct? There only you have area for vision. So next you are hearing. So that goes to which cortex? Area for hearing, temporal lobe. So next you are feeling. So that goes to your postcentral gyrus. From there, that impulses are going to hippocampus. Where only that already I told you encoding. All these visual impulses are getting converted into neuronal signal in the hippocampus. So that only called as encoding. Okay, so now you are getting some idea about the sciatic nerve. So teacher, you are seeing, you are touching, teacher says about the importance of it. Okay, so next repeatedly you are seeing, isn't it? So till the lower limb gets over, you are seeing repeatedly. Then finally, you are easily able to identify the sciatic nerve in these quarters. Am I correct? Can you easily find out the sciatic nerve in these quarters? So that's what that memory is getting repeatedly. If you see, it is getting consolidated through a process called as long-term potentiation. Long-term potentiation, it is getting consolidated. Once it is consolidated, so that is otherwise called as retention of short-term memory. It is once again transferred to neocortex. So that's why neocortex is the center for long-term memory. So that's what you are learning. Okay, we will see what are all the role of each part. What is the role of hippocampus? Encoding. Okay. Next, it is transmitted to your mammillary body through fornix. Next, mammillary body to thalamus. So you are getting that attention. Okay. Cingulate gyrus. So emotional engagement. So you are touching, you are dissecting. Of course, you are not dissecting, but you are seeing, isn't it? You are touching and seeing. So that emotional integration takes place in the cingulate gyrus. Integration of emotion with cognitive function. So you are thinking, so it will be definitely asked in these quarters. It is clinically, it is important. Sciatica you are getting. So like that, your emotional integration takes place in the cingulate gyrus. Finally, it goes to our neocortex. Are you clear with that now? So how you are learning? Okay, so that's what your memory is getting registered. Teaching inside. So repetition of dissection. I am not going to explain the remaining example with the detail. Okay, so this much is enough for you. So repetition is important. So no point in reading everything just before the previous day of examination. Though nothing will get consolidated. So you will be writing only 25% what you learned. So no point in reading before the day of examination. Okay, so that's why repetition is important. So strengthening of synaptic pathway takes place through a process called as long-term potentiation. Okay, so that is a physiological process. Through that only our consolidation takes place. Next, very, very important thing. Sleep and rest. Sleep and rest. After learning facilitates the transfer of your consolidated memory to the neocortex. Through PAP circuit. So that's why proper sleep and rest is important. Okay, when you have to sleep? Not in the lecture. Okay, so during night you have to sleep. So at least hereafter, stop your or reduce your screen time. Sleep well. Okay, at least day before the exam you have to sleep well. So sleep and rest is very much important for the transfer of your consolidated memory to the neocortex. Then only easily you can recall during your exam. Okay. So next, emotional engagement. So that's hands-on practice. Okay. Next, key process in LTP. What is LTP means? It is the key process. Okay, how much I have to tell? I don't know. So only this is enough, or I have to explain the process. No idea. So that may be useful for PGs. So it increases the synaptic strength. So that is that long term. That's what we are getting, that long term memory. So in the postsynaptic neuron, we have two receptors. One is NMDA receptor, another one is AMPA receptors. So that whenever you are learning, that signal I told. Okay, so at the time, glutamate is the neurotransmitter secreted by the presynaptic neuron. See that? So the first picture is normal one. See that presynaptic neuron. So these are the glutamate in the presynaptic neuron. So this is postsynaptic neuron where we have that receptors, NMDA receptor and AMPA receptors. So when it is getting potentiated, what happens? Sorry. See that numerous your neurotransmitter is liberated. So that is glutamate. So that binds with the neurotransmitters present in that your postsynaptic vesicle. So that is your AMDA receptor as well as your NMDA receptor. So that is getting activated. So later on it leads to formation of new dendrites. New dendrites are formed. So synapses takes place. That's what strengthening of the synapses takes place. So that is important for the consolidation of the memory. Okay, so that's what encoding, consolidation, retention. Then if it is consolidated, easily you can recall. Consolidated memory goes to neocortex, easily you can read. So next, associative learning. So already you have studied about it. What is it? Learning the relationship between two stimuli or one stimulus and the consequences. What is classical conditioning? Typical example you have to give. What is the typical example for classical conditioning of associative learning? So once the bell rings in the dissection hall, what you are doing? Immediately running to slice of life, isn't it? Okay, so that is the there you are getting something. So that is the another stimulus. Definitely salivation will take place, isn't it? So that is your classical conditioning, isn't it? So there the amygdala plays the major role. Next is your operant conditioning. So here, of course, you will be having reward and punishment conditioning. So for this, I have one video. So go through it. We will see what are all the various parts of your limbic lobe or your hippocampus circuit is involved. Okay. Sound right.
A medical student strolls down a quiet, dimly lit street at night, earbuds in, lost in thought. Suddenly, a stray dog barks ferociously, startling him. Heart racing, he bolts down the street, adrenaline pumping, until he finally reaches the safety of a well-lit area. Breathing heavily, he glances back, shaken by the encounter. Fast forward to the next day. The sun is shining, and the street looks completely different. But as he walks the same path, his heart starts racing again. Memories of the barking dog flood back, and anxiety creeps in, even though there's no dog in sight. The shadows of the night linger in his mind, making the bright day feel a little less safe. He realizes that fear can stick around, even when the threat is gone. The mind can play tricks, turning a simple walk into a battle with lingering anxiety.
Are you getting the message? Yes or no? You are getting it, isn't it? So that is fear memory. Okay.
A medical student strolls down
Until
the
it
quiet,
goes through.
dimly lit street at night, earbuds in, lost in thought. Suddenly, a stray dog barks ferociously, startling him. Heart racing, he bolts down the street, adrenaline pumping, until he finally reaches the safety of a well-lit area. Breathing heavily, he glances back, shaken by the encounter. Fast forward to the next day. The sun is shining, and the street looks completely different. But as he walks the same path, his heart starts racing again. Memories of the barking dog flood back, and anxiety creeps in, even though there's no dog in sight. The shadows of the night linger in his mind, making the bright day feel a little less safe. He realizes that fear can stick around, even when the threat is gone. The mind can play tricks, turning a simple walk into a battle with lingering anxiety.
So it is that your amygdala. So already I told amygdala is included in the PAP circuit or not? Now it is included. In the revised version, it is included. So that only triggers the fear response. So emotional tagging, the stimulus is the barking of the dog. Hippocampus encode that memory. So going in the street, dark street, place and all. Okay. Cingulate gyrus, integration of that emotion with your prefrontal cortex. So fear, caution. Okay. If you go to that same area, so what happens? So via mammillary body, it is connected to thalamus. From the thalamus, it goes to hypothalamus also. So that only activates your heart rate. So palpitation comes. He was breathing heavily, isn't it? So your autonomic nervous system is getting involved. So that is your fear memory. So clinical importance of this post-traumatic stress disorder, isn't it? So next, fear conditioning. So that is your fear memory. So next is your, what is the importance of mind map? So that is the major part today. So how it helps, that we will see. So already I told spatial and conceptual mapping. Okay, how to map that. So hippocampus plays major role in that. So already I told how to map. So can you think about brachial plexus now? Brachial plexus, various things. Okay, can you imagine in front of you? That is scene processing. That is done by your parahippocampal gyrus. That only nothing but your mind map. Okay, we will see one live example now. So same brachial plexus. So what are the various stages? Can you recollect now? We have root stage. Okay. So see that. So that is the mind map, isn't it? So at the center we put the concept. Next, what are the various things? So brachial plexus, if we take, you are having a root stage, trunk stage. Next, your division, formation of cords and branches. That's what we are creating mind map. Okay, so that Dr. Nikhil is going to explain about it. Just we will see what are all the parts of where tap circuit is involved, how that mind map works. Okay. So hippocampus, once again encoding the facial memory of the brachial plexus. So it is hippocampus actively involved in the organizing the complex information out. Cingulate gyrus facilitate the focused attention. Okay, so not only simply imagining, no use. Okay, so roots are there, what happens the root? From the root, what are the branches coming? From the cords, what are all the branches coming? So like that, we have to focus the attention, then only you can make the your mind map. So parahippocampal gyrus supports the spatial layout. So fornix and mammillary body brings that to the your neocortex, so where that long-term storage takes place. Your antithalamic nucleus modulate the attention. So finally, it is synthesize the concept prefrontal cortex. There only our final part comes. Prefrontal cortex. Already we told planning, decision, your decision making, execution and all, isn't it? So finally it is synthesized in the prefrontal cortex. That's what your mind map works. For anything you can create the mind map like that. Of course, nowadays various tools are available. Digital tools are available for the mind map. So with that also you can create. But better to understand first. So I already told you think about your spleen, where it is. Okay, then you can bring that particular organ in front of you. Okay, you can analyze everything, then you go for mind mapping. So it will be useful for you. So very important part is, it is not simply strategy. Okay, it is neurobiologically supported cognitive tool. So mind map. Okay, so their emotion is tagged, your spatial organization takes place. So that's what I'm going on telling. Imagine. So that is more important for your spotters. So we are telling about brachial artery means you think about front of arm where your brachial artery is there. So like that you have to imagine. So that is more important for your spotters recollection. So take home message, the summary. So learning and memory depends on the anatomical wiring. Wiring in the sense, most synaptic connection between pre and post synaptic neurons of hippocampus. Hippocampus, that is important, particularly that takes place in CA1 region. So that is important for PGs. So what is that CA1 region of hippocampus? You find out. So for anatomy and physiology PGs, it is important. So limbic system, what is the role of limbic system? Already I told. So next is adequate sleep and rest. Can you follow today onwards? Okay, what way it is important? Adequate sleep and rest. So for the transformation of consolidated memory, short-term memory to the neocortex for long-term memory, sleep and rest is important. Next, exercise. Exercise, during exercise, what happens? More O2 go to your brain. Okay, that activate the LTP. Your long-term potentiation is getting activated during your exercise. That's why regular exercise also important. So long-term potentiation, already I told, that is repeated practice. Repeated practice is important. That's why repeatedly you have to read. Then only that synaptic strengthening takes place. So repeatedly I am telling, no point in learning on the previous day of exam. Are you getting that point? All of you? Yes. Next, every concept you understand today shapes your brain for the future. So know the structure, apply the function, think clinically. Definitely you will become a successful clinician. Okay. So final closing thought, neurons that fire together means what do you understand? Repetition of learning leads to wiring of the neurons together. So that leads to long-term memory. Okay.